What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today, we're here for another Dynasty trade review show. Hopefully, you guys got some trades submitted into that free Discord. That is where we're pulling all of these trades from. But like I said, we're here for a trade review show, so hopefully you're locked in, ready to go. It cannot be a trade review show without my co-host, MFGD, so let's get him into the building and let's start reviewing some Dynasty trades. War, what's good with you, man?
Hey, you know what it is. Another episode, the Fantasy Renegade, the Crown Prince of Dynasty, dropping another one on you. Let's make this thing hot. Let's go.
Let's go, man. All right. First trade that we got pulled up here for today's episode is a 12-team, one quarterback, full PPR, 4-point passing touchdown, and tight end premium. Team number one told us that they have Bo Nix and Kyler Murray already on the roster. So they traded away Joe Burrow to get Justin Jefferson. How do you feel about that in a 1 QB league?
In a 1 QB league, I'm going to lean the Joe Burrow side, but in general, in terms of the players themselves, this is a fine trade. You got a top tier wide receiver for a top tier quarterback. I know 2 QB leagues usually want to lean quarterback heavy, but if you're a 1 quarterback, what's better than getting one of the top 3 quarterbacks in fantasy? So I got to lean there, but in totality, I don't really have an issue with this trade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the Justin Jefferson side. I think in a 1 QB, having Bo Nix and Kyler Murray, it is more than enough firepower at the quarterback position. 4-point passing touchdown. So, Joe Burrow, he's not really going to use his legs. He's not going to rush as much as guys like Bo and Kyler are as well. So getting a top 2 wide receiver in Dynasty, I'm all for that. I think, the format itself just leans you towards Justin Jefferson in a 1 QB startup draft. Justin Jefferson's going to go ahead of him. So I'm taking Justin Jefferson here, and I think that's a smash accept on that end.
Oh, so you think it's like a landslide going towards JJ?
I don't think it's a landslide. Like, it's not super lopsided, but just given the context that we have here, I think Justin Jefferson is just the perfect fit for what he has going on. And I think he's probably, has the edge as far as value goes in that type of format.
Look, man, you know as good as I do. You probably got to torture me to get me to turn down the trade with Joe Burrow in it. I probably got to get tortured.
Fair enough.
I mean, but I get it. The context does make sense. I don't know the context of the other team though. So let's just look at that real briefly. So if the other team, let's say their quarterback was Michael Penix, if you get upgrading in the 1 quarterback league from Michael Penix to Joe Burrow, then I think I could totally see why the other side made the deal that they made as well. So like, we don't really know who the other guy's quarterback is to know like how bad he needed Joe Burrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you have Michael Penix starting in a 1 QB league, your team's chopped. I mean, you're screwed. Like, there's no way that you should be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I think in 1 QB to really lean, unless you're getting what I would say is going to be a guy that has the rushing upside, the potential to really be a game breaker. Burrow does have game breaking ability as a passer, and I think that kind of benefits him in a 6-point passing touchdown league. That does benefit him in a super flex league, like things where, you already are kind of bumping the quarterback position up, and then you have Joe Burrow who's going to throw the football a ton as well. It's just when you have leagues like this one where it's really just rewarding rushing quarterbacks and guys that have like that Konami code type of ability. The ones that I want would be guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jayden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, like those guys that can get me anywhere between 7 and 10, rushing touchdowns any given year, because that's going to give me an extra 2 points per rushing touchdown instead of the 4 points per passing. You know what I'm saying? So like, you get those guys. Kyler Murray has the rushing potential. Bo Nix has rushing potential. A whole bunch of options there where Joe Burrow just doesn't have that. If anybody watched Quarterback, there was the one play where he had the long rushing touchdown, but everybody even said in that, clip, Joe, we didn't know you had wheels like that. You don't run like that. Like, we didn't know you could run because you don't do it. And he's like, yeah, I don't really do it, but like, sometimes I got to break it out. It's a once in a blue moon type of thing for Joe Burrow there. So I would lean towards the rushing QBs in that format. If I'm paying a Justin Jefferson, who is a top 2 dynasty wide receiver, in my opinion, I need a guy that I think has a little bit more rushing upside. Like, I would maybe consider this deal for Jayden Daniels. I would consider this deal for Lamar, but Joe Burrow, he just doesn't give me the extra oomph in this scoring format. As much as I like Joe Burrow in 6-point passing, and as much as I like Joe Burrow in Superflex leagues.
Well, yeah, but if it was Jayden Daniels or Lamar, then you wouldn't do this trade in a one quarterback league. See, man, that's why I can't do one quarterback leagues, man.
It
I'm,
really
I'm
makes
retired
that
from
quarterback.
quarterback league.
Right. It really makes the quarterback game in 1QB so much less important. And it makes it just so it does kind of make it kind of a cheap little roster spot.
It does. And, just one last quick point. Like, I have so many championships in one quarterback leagues. And, like, since I moved to two quarterbacks, I only have like one championship. So I need to catch up with, I have to get myself up to the two quarterback league game.
There you go. All right, man. Well, I'm taking the Jefferson. Sounds like you're taking the Burrow. But let's move on to the next trade. Next trade we got here is a 12-team super flex, full PPR, no tight end premium, and start 10. Team number 1 is a contending team, but they said that they couldn't, turn down this deal because the pick is projected to be early in 2026. So they're moving Josh Jacobs for an early 2026 first round pick. How do you feel about that?
I'm taking the pick. I'm taking the pick. I think we just talked about how Josh Jacobs was worth like a late first, right? I think that's what we were talking about. This is an early first, so it's open and shut case for me. I'm going with that pick.
Yeah, I mean, I traded for Josh Jacobs in a league this offseason, and I gave up a late 2025 first. So, an early 2026 first, it's going to put you in an interesting spot. We're not expecting that 2026 class to be super strong. There's obviously going to be players from there that we like. Jeremiah Love, I personally believe at this point in time, if Arch Manning does not come out, Jeremiah Love is going to be the belle of the ball. I think he's going to be the guy where we're kind of drafting an RB1 overall as the first 101 again for like the second straight year with Ashton Jeanty, this year, and then Jeremiah Love next year. But that could change. Garrett Nussmeier could go out and have a good season. Lenora Sellers could have a good season, things like that. But at the end of the day, it's weird because you are in a contending window here and you don't want to move a guy who we do believe can give us low-end RB1 numbers in Josh Jacobs. But if it's an early first-round pick and you have the depth, I might just pocket it and play a little bit for the future as well as I'm trying to contend. So I'm going to take the early 26 first-round pick. But it's a funky little situation that you're in here where you're contending but also buying draft capital.
It's a funky little situation going in the other direction too, because if you're a team that has the capability to get an early first round pick, then why the hell are you acquiring Josh Jacobs?
So they did hide the names because when you click like hide names, that's when it pops up sleeper team 1, sleeper team 2.
Yeah.
But that also hides the first. So it doesn't mean that first round pick is from the team that traded it. Like this could be another person's first that might be early. But yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're at, where it's like, why are you moving the first round pick if it could be early for Josh Jacobs? But also this team could be contending and moving an extra first that they had got from somebody else just to get Josh Jacobs to push him over the edge. So it's kind of weird and it's tough because if that is the case too, you are a contending roster now giving another contending roster ammo to maybe beat you, but then you're getting their first round pick that might be early. So it's like, it's a weird situation all around. But if we're just looking at it straight at value, you want the early first.
Unless his team is stacked at wide receiver and has a great running back one, and I don't see how Josh Jacobs puts them over the top.
It just depends. I think Jacobs can give you low end RB1, high end RB2 numbers this year. But is that, what is that going to be for your team? I think that just depends on the context. But yeah, I think long story short, we'll go the early first and see what you get. Maybe you can use that first for a different move down the road. As soon as like more people realize it's early, then maybe you can get a better play than Jacobs. But let's go on to the next trade. 12-team super flex, full PPR, half point tight end premium, and start 10. We have an orphan team being taken over that had no draft capital. That's team 1. They were the orphan team with no draft capital. So they gave up Sam LaPorta and they got Chris Olave in a second round pick in 2027, trying to start this snowball effect of getting more draft capital on the team. How do you feel about moving LaPorta for Olave in a second, knowing that context?
That's one of my favorite things in Dynasty football is when you could take a team that's an orphan that has no draft picks and go through the whole process of trying to restock the cupboard. Yeah, I love that. On the surface, I would go to Sam LaPorta side, but taking over an orphan team, I've done it before. I get where he's coming from. In that case, provided the context, I do take the side with Chris Olave, but I do like the Sam LaPorta side more. But for the context of it, I do take the side where he's getting some draft capital, but I'm sure he has to keep going to get more than that because that 27 second is good. But he's going to need some more than that.
Yeah, I mean the second round in 27 is just a drop in the bucket of what you'll probably need. I mean I'm with you. Looking at the value straight up, Sam LaPorta is probably the most. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. I really hope that he's not telling us that somebody has depleted all of the 26 and 27 draft capital. That would be horrible. It should not have been allowed.
I think that is what he's telling us, is it has no future picks. So he's trying to do it now. But I'm with you. I think Sam LaPorta, looking at the trade, is the most valuable asset. If I'm, looking at this trade with no context, I'm taking Sam LaPorta. I think he's more valuable. And you probably could have gotten or should have gotten Chris Olave and a couple seconds, or Chris Olave and a player in a second, or something like that. Like, it feels like there's a little value that could be left on the table. But also at the same time, I understand when you're an orphan team, you're a new guy in the league, you're taking over, and everybody's looking at that team and saying, this guy has to blow that shit up. Like, he has to blow it up. Nobody's giving you discounts. Everybody wants, we know you have to blow it up. I'll only sell for this price. I only want that guy. I only want that. Like, that's going to happen. People are going to charge you an arm and a leg. And so I understand sometimes you got to, make a move to get the ball rolling. That's just the way that it goes. Sometimes you got to eat a little bit of that value on the first deal or two just to get the ball rolling. So I understand that. And that's probably what this is. Chris Olave is a buy low, I think, at this point in time. Everybody kind of is done with Olave. It feels like a lot of people have written him off. We don't want him. He's kind of just feels like chopped liver at this point in time, which I don't think should be the case, because we all know Chris Olave is super talented. It's more so been a situation for Olave where not play on the field, it's been quarterback situation and health. Those are the two things for Chris Olave that have kind of knocked him. It's not been anything that Chris Olave has done as a wide receiver. So I think he's still a good buy low. It's just a half-point tight end premium, an extra half point for that tight end. So it's not like it's a crazy value bump for the tight ends. And I think you and I also think that there might be a little bit of regression from this Detroit offense, and LaPorta would be one of the guys that probably points to have the most likely of the regression in this offense. So I understand it. That said, LaPorta has the most value, but I don't mind the deal given the context. It's probably fine.
Andrew, do you think there's a more than 0% chance that the Saints will have at least some type of competent quarterback play this upcoming season?
In 2025, it's really hard to trust that. From everything that I have heard so far, it is truly a battle right now for camp to see who's going to be the starting QB. I've heard from some smaller beat reporters in the New Orleans area that Spencer Rattler is kind of kicking Tyler Shuck's ass in camp.
That's bad. That's real bad.
That's not good. It's not good because you drafted Tyler Shuck to be the guy, at least short term. But if Rattler's out here looking better, and then you used a second round on Shuck that we all viewed as a reach anyways, like, I don't know. I don't love it. To be honest, I still, to this day, don't understand why New Orleans didn't look at a guy like Jalen Milroe. I feel like his upside, his ceiling is much higher than a guy like Shuck. And you could see what he is and run an offense through him. And if it's not good, you move on and get a guy next year. But I don't think the quarterback of the future is on this roster. I'm not very confident in the quarterback play this year.
Yeah, I think they're tanking.
They want Arch. They want
be
Arch.
There. Yeah.
But we'll see. If Arch gets there with Chris Olave's stock is going to skyrocket.
Yes.
So,
yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to lean the LaPorta side for value, but I think it's a fine deal. Whether it's playing drafts or sweating pick'ems, there's no off season on Underdog, which means there's still plenty of ways to cash in big this summer. No matter the sport you're watching, Underdog has you covered, and all you have to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite athletes from whatever sport. Put them into a pick'em entry, watch the winning multiplier increase, click play, and win real cash. So what are you waiting for? Download Underdog and start playing today. Plus, when you use promo code LEAGUEFFB, Underdog will give you a new customer special, which is a free square for your first pick'em entry, and they will give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, giving you the perfect head start to winning big on Underdog. So if you want to support our show and get in on some daily fantasy sports action, click the link in our description to sign up for Underdog using code LEAGUEFFB. So thank you to our sponsors over at Underdog. And with that out of the way, let's get back into the action. Let's move on to the next one, though. 12-team, 1 quarterback, 6-point passing touchdown, full PPR, and start 8. I don't know why it keeps doing that where it's a little bit dimmed, but that's fine. This guy, the only context that we got, or the main context that we got, was I want you to roast me because I'm a Broncos fan and I just traded Pat Mahomes for Bo Nix. That was the context that we got here. So, I'm not saying we're going to roast him immediately, but A-Rod trades away Patrick Mahomes in the 403 for Bo Nix in the 307. You and I are both going to sit here and tell you right away, the 307 and the 403, the difference between the two is very unimportant, so we're not even looking at them. Just take them out. It's Patrick Mahomes for Bo Nix. And how do you feel about this? Given, it feels like Mahomes is trending down, Nix has trended up as a rookie. Do you believe that these guys should be equals, or are we smoking, that good stuff?
We smoking that good stuff. But we taking Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. This little swoon he's been on where he's been less than what people desire, that's going to be over. A lot of people who bought Patrick Mahomes are going to be feeling themselves because Patrick Mahomes will be back this season. But A-Rod, I'm not about to roast you because I respect you. I respect you going out and acquiring the quarterback from your team. And in a lot of ways, I've done the same damn thing, and I would have done the same damn thing. So do not feel bad. It would be different if you were a Colts fan and you traded Patrick Mahomes for Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson. Then I wouldn't have any choice but to roast you. But you basically down tiered a little bit to Bo Nix because you're a Broncos fan. And you know what? If that gets you into the fantasy trade room, if that gets you to be more involved in fantasy, by having a player on your team, then go do it. Some leagues where my teams are absolute garbage, the only reason I even check into that team is because I have players for my team. So I get where you're coming from, man. I'm not going to roast you. Patrick Mahomes side won, but I'm not going to roast.
Yeah, the Patrick Mahomes side wins for me too. It's 6-point passing touchdown. It's 1 QB. I think that's, under the radar is that it's 1 QB. So again, kind of to our first conversation of the episode where I told you, having guys with some rushing upside does help. Is Bo Nix rushing upside much more than Mahomes? I don't know. I think Mahomes, runs enough for first downs and things like that where they're kind of similar. The 6-point passing touchdowns, who do you think is going to throw for more touchdowns? I would lean Mahomes, but I don't think it's like crazy lopsided. The reality is, I think you are tearing down into the next tier, but you're getting a guy probably towards the top of the next tier for a guy that's kind of at the back of his tier. So yes, you're losing the deal in my opinion, but it's not a landslide. So I'm not I can't roast you for it because it's not like, holy hell, this is a lopsided trade and you just lost by a mile and you screwed yourself. It's not that, but I prefer Mahomes. That's just, I think, where do we feel it would have been, normal? If it was Mahomes in a second or Bo Nix in a second for Mahomes, do you feel better? You obviously feel better, but is it fair? Or does it have to be Nix in a first? I think Nix in a first might be too much.
Okay, so here's my issue in general. I'm concerned in general about trading a guy like Patrick Mahomes for a guy that's going to be in his second season with the whole league having tape on him. I feel like that's a really risky move. So for me, honestly, I think I will. I'll feel more comfortable if it was Bo Nix in the first for Patrick Mahomes in the second. That would make me feel more comfortable.
Okay. Yeah, you move up the one round to tier down into the next tier of QB. I don't hate it. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Mahomes side here. I don't really have much more to add to it. But I will say that orange and blue jersey that Bo Nix is in right there is pretty sweet. So I like those jerseys.
Yeah, orange and blue are cool colors.
Kind of reminds me of like the Bishop Gorman jerseys out there in Vegas. 10 team, super flex, full PPR, start 10. Team number 1 says they are rebuilding, but they have Josh Allen as their quarterback 1. So they traded away Jayden Daniels and a 3rd round pick. They got Kyler Murray, a 26 first and a 27 first. And I almost made a joke when I was making this graphics. I thought of the joke, and I'll say it. Don't take it too seriously, folks. Understand I said it's a joke. You're trading Kyler Murray for a new age Kyler Murray, basically, right? Like that's what we're doing.
You might get some static for the brother.
Cliff's Kyler Murray for Cliff's Kyler Murray, right? Like,
yeah. One got height issues, one got weight issues.
That's crazy. Let's just look. Clearly the joke bombed. There. Let's just go. How do you feel about Daniels for Kyler in 2 first?
Wait, so he said he's rebuilding with Allen as QB1. That's what he's saying. So he's going to have Allen and Kyler Murray.
And then 2 first.
Okay, then. I know nobody likes trading away Jayden Daniels. It's crazy to trade away Jayden Daniels, but when you already got Josh Allen on your roster, why wouldn't you want Kyler Murray in 2 first, including the 2000 2027 first. So in
Would
light
you
of context, I would take the Kyler Murray side due to the context.
Yeah, I saw this context and I originally thought, well, why wouldn't you trade away Josh Allen and keep away keep Jayden Daniels in your rebuild as the young guy? And then you could probably have squeezed out another first for Josh Allen. It probably could have been Kyler and 3 firsts for Josh Allen. Would you have rather done that, or you're not trading Josh Allen at all, even if you're rebuilding?
Hell no, I ain't trading no Josh Allen, keep no Jayden Daniels over Josh Allen. I don't care who Jayden Daniels is.
I I might have done it. I might have done it, man. In a rebuild, I probably would go with Daniels and the 3 firsts and Kyler Murray. And then I probably would try and down tier Kyler Murray to like, I mean, this is a super flex, so I probably would try and down tier like Kyler Murray to, I don't know, could you go to Penix and then get another first thrown in and go Daniels and Penix in your rebuild with 4 firsts because you got 3 from Josh Allen and 1 from the down tier from Kyler Murray? Like, that's kind of how I would be looking at it, and stockpile the
I
whole
want to
cupboard
see
with first round picks.
I want to see his whole damn team. Like, cause how you rebuilding with Josh Allen and Kyler Murray? It's gonna be hard to rebuild like that.
Yeah, you're gonna be scoring some points for sure.
Yeah, like I don't know how you pulling that off, man.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's more a retool. I don't know, but even then, looking at the deal, I don't mind it. Kyler and 2 firsts for Jayden Daniels is fine. It does feel like this, you're getting the first round picks, but again, I think there was moving Allen was maybe a better for the rebuild, and keeping Daniels and then adding an extra first or doing something like that. That's probably what I would do, and I'm probably one of the biggest Josh Allen fans, So at the end of the day, like if I'm saying trade Allen for the 3 firsts and Kyler, maybe there was a deal to be had there, but maybe you tried it and nobody wanted it and they just wanted Daniels. I don't mind it. Value's fine, but in my rebuild, I kind of just want to build around Jayden Daniels.
I want to see what Jayden Daniels is gonna show up this season before I make that type of commitment.
Well, like I said, it might be Kyler Murray for Kyler Murray at the end of this whole thing anyways.
Might be.
No, I'm just kidding. But it kind of let's move on to the next one. We got a 12-team super flex, full PPR, tight end premium, and start 11. And for the record, that is not necessarily a knock on Jayden Daniels. That's more of me pumping Kyler Murray and also pumping Cliff Kingsbury as a play caller. But this trade, you send away Ashton, Jeanty, a 27 second and a 26 third. You get Bijan Robinson and a 26 fourth. Let's just do the easy thing here. No major difference between a 26 third and a 26 fourth. Let's just pull them out. It's Jeanty and a second for Bijan. How do you feel about that?
Without me actually knowing how Jeanty is going to look, I lean the Bijan side, but I also think it's just a fair trade.
Yeah, I'm going the Bijan side too. And you know why? Because I'm paying that second round pick 2 years from now as insurance. I know Bijan Robinson is not a bust. I know he's a elite NFL running back. I know that Ashton Jeanty is an elite collegiate running back, but I don't know if Ashton Jeanty's an elite NFL running back yet. I think he will be.
Correct.
But the 27 second is the insurance to where you want to take the little bit of risk that might be here with a rookie. I'll just take Bijan and go win this damn thing right now, because I know Bijan's going to be one of those, probably the RB1 in fantasy at the end of the year. I think he's probably going to be the highest scoring running back this season. So I'll just take Bijan, and you can take my second as the insurance.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy. Let's go on to this trade. 10-team super flex, full PPR, tight end premium, and start 10. Team number 1 is giving away Jared Goff and Darnell Mooney. What team number 1 received was CJ Stroud, David Montgomery in a third in 2027. What do you think about this deal?
It's a finesse.
Finesse?
Yes, a finesse. Jared Goff and Darnell Mooney. That's now I said Jared Goff's going to see some regression, but even if he didn't see no regression, I understand CJ Stroud had a bad season. You know what? That's look, progression in the NFL is not linear, and people just forget that all the time. CJ Stroud had one of the best rookie seasons of all times till Jayden Daniels showed up. Then CJ Stroud had a down year, trying to tell Caleb what to do. It's not out of the realm of possibility for CJ Stroud to bounce back this upcoming season. He's still a young guy. NFL teams figured him out in year 2, and this is the point where CJ Stroud has to figure out more things so he can get more progress and get more things done this season. Same thing I worry about with Jayden. Just because I say Jayden may take a step back this season, don't mean that Jayden can't take another step forward once he figured out what they figured out. So long story short, I'm taking the David Montgomery, CJ Stroud on the third side. Darnell Mooney, he just feels like a non-factor in this trade. So really, I'm just focusing on Jared Goff, and that's a lot to give up for just Jared Goff.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, in a 10-team league, Mooney's probably just a flex option at best most weeks. So I'd be viewing him as that. David Montgomery's probably a flex option with running back 2 potential. If they continue to keep using him the same way with Ben Johnson out of town, if they keep using Monty the way they have been, probably still a guy who can flirt with double-digit touchdowns on a year. End of the day, for me, it's CJ Stroud is the best player in the deal, the most valuable player in the deal, and there's not enough value, coming back. I guess going to the CJ Stroud person who gave him away. I said
Why
that
is he
so
getting the
horribly.
third?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I think you could have probably just kept it. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at you if you just did Goff and Mooney for Stroud.
I still would pick the Stroud side.
That's what I'm
That
saying. I
deal
wouldn't even
too.
be mad. Or if you took Monty out of the deal completely and just went Goff and Mooney for Stroud in the third, like I'm not even mad at you there. So I think there's enough value coming back to this Monty and Stroud side that you just have to take the Stroud side most times. And I understand Jared Goff might outproduce Stroud, this year or next year or whatever, but we're playing Dynasty here, folks. And Goff is 30 plus and just lost his offensive coordinator, who has been deemed as one of the best offensive play callers in the NFL. So we'll see how that translates. I'm not saying Goff is going to fall off. I mean, I know you think that there's going to be a Goff fall off a little bit this year. I'll
He'll
just
still
take
be
the young
decent.
kid. I'll take the young kid.
Yeah, he'll still be decent even if he falls off, but you don't give up CJ Stroud for decent.
Yeah, fair enough. Unless, I guess you're contending, but even then, like, you should probably be keeping Montgomery in that situation as well. So let's go to the next trade. 10-team Superflex, half PPR, no tight end premium, and a contending roster. Logan is sending away James Cook, Jamison Williams, and the 104 in 2025. He gets Nico Collins in the 109. So, giving up one of those top 4 picks, that's probably Tet McMillan, Travis Hunter, Amarion Hampton, Henderson if you want him there. Like, there's lots of options there. Cam Ward maybe. The 109, you're looking at like Egbuka, probably, maybe RJ Harvey, Jackson Dart in a super flex. Like, that might be where you're looking. It's hard to tell you if Judkins is even going to get drafted there anymore. Probably not at this point. He's probably more of an early second round guy. What would you do here?
I'm going to take the Nico side, man. I'm going to take the Nico side. And on the surface, it doesn't seem like a good idea because those players you named that he could get at 104, like if he gets Tet right there, then it may change my opinion. But I don't know who the player will be at 104. But I do know you could probably get Egbuka or somebody or Loveland or somebody at 109 and add them to the best asset in this trade, Nico Collins.
Would you still draft a tight end at that 109 spot, even though it's not tight end premium?
Some tight ends exceed what the tight end premium does for them. Some tight ends is going to ball regardless. And I might have on my Bears goggles, but...
Well, like, even think of Warren. Like, would you be taking Warren around there still?
No.
Okay, so you do have bear goggles on. Yeah, I mean, that's let's just be real. That's
Look.
Like, I would be thinking potentially, like, I'm probably gonna in a 1 or no tight end premium. I'm probably thinking of like Harvey over those guys. I'm thinking of Dart. I'll take him to Superflex over those tight ends. Yeah. I probably would take, like, I'm having consideration about Caleb Johnson. I'm having consideration about Matthew Golden, Luther Burden.
You was trying to trick me right there. No.
I knew if I said a bear, it might get you, your ears perked.
No. I ain't taking no Luther Burton at 109. I think Colston Loveland is going to be special. But I would take every single one of those guys except Caleb Johnson and Matthew Golden over Loveland there.
Fair enough. I mean,
I'm taking the Puga for sure. I'm taking Harvey for sure. I'm taking, who else did you say? Dart. I'm taking Dart. I'm taking all those guys over Loveland at 109.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the deal, and Nico Collins is by far the best player in the deal. Yes. I mean, that's not even a question. It's not a question, but there is some good value with Cook and J-Mo and the 104 having, one of those players. It's 10-team, half PPR. I'm going to just go with Nico in the 109. I'm going to lean on, this is the best player in the deal. And at the 109, I'm hoping I can still get a player that I think can, hit my starting lineup. And you're contending. So Nico Collins is going to be the best contending piece for you, period. I think he's top 5 potential this year as a wide receiver. So I'm just going to lean him there.
It's very, very difficult to acquire a bona fide wide receiver one in this game. It really is. And when you can get one, you get one. And I feel like the price of Cook, who's a running back, Williams, who I think is going to take a step back this season. And the 104 is tricky, but even with that, I want a bona fide wide receiver one on my contending roster. And who knows, the player that you draft the 109 could end up outproducing the player you draft the 104. They're rookies. You never know. So I would
Maybe.
take that risk and still get the bona fide wide receiver one on my team in Nico Collins.
Yeah. But if you are trading Nico Collins, that's a pretty good value haul to get back in return.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Next one we got here is 10 team, 1 quarterback, full PPR, start 10. Team number 1 wants us to know that he still has a lot of picks, even though he traded away a 26 first, a 27 first, a 26 second, and a 28 second for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, 1 QB, full PPR, 10 team. Are you giving up 2 firsts and 2 seconds for St. Brown?
St. Brown is definitely worth 2 firsts at the minimum. So I would give up 2 firsts for St. Brown.
Now, don't say that too loud, because apparently the folks in the comment section last week thought we'd undervalue first-round picks because supposedly in their leagues you can't even get A.J. Brown for a first-round pick. And if that's the case, I want to play in those leagues so I can just give you all of my first for your A.J. Browns and those types of talents, and then I can take all of your money. Like, that's what I want to do. But supposedly we undervalue the first-round picks when you say guys like this are worth 2 or whatever.
Rookie fever. That's all I hear. That's all I hear, man. It ain't that we undervalue first round picks. It's just that you guys overvalue first round picks.
Or
Like
have
it's all
too much confidence in the hit rates of these first round picks. Like,
yeah.
I
It's
don't
like
know what to
going
tell you.
it's like going to get some scratch offs and thinking like, okay, I'm for sure about to win one of these tickets. You might lose all of them.
You might lose all of them, yeah.
Like, I mean, but I'm gonna take the Amon-Ra St. Brown side. That's a hell of a lot of picks. This deal is actually fair. To be completely honest, this is a haul worthy of getting a wide receiver one. And he said he still has a lot of picks left too. I don't know how, because that's a hell of a lot of picks he has right there. But if that's the case, then with the context and everything, I'm gonna take the Amon-Ra St. Brown side. But this is a fair deal. That is a worthy package of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will cut it as simply as possible. 1 quarterback just values the wide receiver and the running backs in those positions even more so. Being in a 10-team league, you got to consolidate for superstars. That's what you're doing here, and it is a full PPR league where St. Brown is going to be, at his most valuable in a full PPR type of format. So, yes, you're giving away 2 firsts and 2 seconds, and you could sit there and rub your crystal ball and say, hey, I'm going to get Arch Manning and Jeremiah Smith and this guy and that guy with my draft picks here. The reality is that ain't happening for you. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen for you. And if you know for certain that that's going to happen for you, don't do this deal. But the reality is that these are more likely going to be late first, because the team acquiring Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't trading all of their first round picks if they're rebuilding. They're doing this because they're contending, and they're going to be later. And the hit rate on those late first round picks is closer to 25% than it is 100%. And if you're hitting on 1 out of 4 of those first round picks, and then you're like, man, these guys are undervaluing first, and these guys don't understand that blah, 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 blah is worth a first round pick, I will take the top 5 performer at the wide receiver position in a full PPR league for the last 3 years of his career over the 25% dart throw, or 2 of these 25% dart throws over the next 2 years. I will do that all day long, because I don't care about having the most first round picks sitting on the back end of my roster. I care about scoring the most fantasy football points and winning these fucking championships. That's what I want to do. I don't want to give you my money to sit there and draft rookies every year. That's not the business I'm in. It might be fun, in May when you get to, I get to draft this rookie. I think it's more fun for me to win the championship in December and then have you guys, all of your buy-ins go into my pocket. I think that's way more fun. So that's what I want to play for.
Hell of a promo, Andrew. Hell of a promo. They should put the top championship belt on you right now.
They need to, goddammit. I need to add a couple more of those rings back there just to the shelf. Let's go right now. Let's just get to week 17 so we can start winning some championships. But yeah, I'm going the St. Brown side. Sounds like you are too. Don't mean to, sit there and poo-poo on the people in the comments, but I just think sometimes, especially when we're in the off season, people really get obnoxious about the value of these rookie picks as if like rookie picks are guaranteed things. They're not. and we're slowly approaching, not slowly, we are rapidly approaching point scoring season for your dynasty rosters, and trading those picks when you have a chance to go win a championship for point scorers, it just makes too much sense. So if your league, you can't, AJ Brown isn't even worth a first round pick, sell your first round pick, overpay by your league's format, overpay to go get AJ Brown, because I promise you he's going to be a top 12 wide receiver and help you win a championship. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But let's go to this trade here. 10 team, super flex, full PPR, half point tight end premium, and start 9. Team number 1 says they are going all in. They're pushing the chips in, trying to win a championship this year. And T-Law is their quarterback 3. So that means Drake Maye was their quarterback 3 before, so they traded Drake Maye in a down tier move with Chris Olave and the Seattle backfield of Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. They got T-Law in the down tier, but they upgraded to Drake London. So, pushing those chips in, getting London and T-Law for Maye, Olave, and the Seattle backfield. You like it or love it?
I like it. I like it because he's still giving up. Like, some of those pieces that are going the other way are damaged good. Like Olave, Walker are damaged good to me. Drake Maye is clearly the most valuable or second most valuable piece in this trade, depending on how you look at it. But
I feel
like,
right?
Yeah, I feel like the people who submitted this week have been doing a great job of adding like a lot of good context to these trades. Because some of these trades, like with no context, it'd be like, oh yeah, for sure, that's all right. But given the context that he's giving, he already has his quarterback 1, his quarterback 2 locked down. Drake Maye was his quarterback 3. He down tiered there, and he gave up Drake London. But what I want to know is his running back position still healthy? Now, if Walker and Charbonnet were just sitting on his bench, doing nothing, and they needed those pieces, flex guys, then okay. But if they were starters, then it's like, okay, it makes it a little more tricky. But we don't know Chris Olave's availability. We don't know Kenneth Walker's availability. We know Charbonnet can ball when Kenneth Walker isn't there. But again, what's his availability? And of course, we are Drake Maye believers, I believe, in here. So I'm going to lead the Drake London side because of the context, man. But I would not be mad at the side that's getting Drake Maye at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this deal and I'm trying to think of it from like a startup perspective. If you were to draft a startup right now with these names, who would be the first guy off the board? It might be London. London might be the first guy off of the board. And Drake Maye would be very shortly right after him. So I think you're getting the most valuable player in the deal in Drake London. And you're down tiering to Trevor Lawrence. But I think Trevor Lawrence can have a resurgence year. We all kind of, I think at least you do and I do as well, but believe in Liam Cohen as a play caller. Can he get the most out of Trevor Lawrence? That's the hope. They added a wide receiver in Travis Hunter, hopefully trying to improve this offense. It feels like for the first time in Trevor Lawrence's career, because his coaches in Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson and these other guys, it doesn't feel like they were innovative play callers. They weren't good for offenses for him. And it feels like for the first time, Trevor Lawrence has a guy that can help him on the offensive side of the ball. Olave and Walker, they're fine. Good, I would say not great options in a 10-team format, and especially a start 9. That makes it even shallower. So just give me the superstar wide receiver that has top 5 potential in Drake London, and I'll take the down tier at the QB in Trevor Lawrence, because the reality is, if he was my QB3 anyways, I was only going to play him in cases of injury or bye weeks, and I'll happily plug London in my starting lineup every week.
Yeah, man, that sounds about right, man. Unless the person you have at your player you have at your QB2 spot was in danger of being replaced by Drake Maye, then that's a different conversation. But if you're comfortable, I want to believe that that's not the case, because he was comfortable trading him away.
And when you're going all in, like I said, I just went on a rant about you want to get the point scorers and you want to be the guy that is collecting, the prize pot at the end of the year, and not be the guy who's sitting there thinking like, man, I just paid another $100 or I just paid another $50 or whatever your league buying is, and I just sat here and missed the playoffs again. You don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy to make the money. And the guy who's going to put Drake London into his starting lineup when he's already a contending roster probably is the guy that's going to have a better chance of making some money. So I'm going to take that side there. And that is the last trade of today's episode. So that is it. 10 trades. We went through at a decent pace. I think this is one of the faster trade shows we've done, but I think that's just because we had some good context. text. We had some good trades that were pretty open and shut. Lots of good conversations. But if you guys like today's episode, hit the like button. That is the best free way to show this channel some support. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Really trying to get to 6K. I think by the time you guys see this, we might be at 6K already. But that only means that we're on to 7K. So make sure, hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here, and go join that free Discord, because if you have Dynasty trades, good context, things like that you want to drop into that channel, we will happily consider those for review on next week's episode. And like I said, it's free to join, so there is no risk in doing that. So make sure you go join that free Discord. War, where can they find you at if they want some additional content?
My Waterloo went down the wrong pipe, so I'm gonna try to get through this. Please subscribe to us at the Crimson Mass Show YouTube channel and Crimson Mass Pro Wrestling for pro wrestling content. We really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. This is as far as I can go. Thank you.
I'll take it from here. Y'all go subscribe to War. Just get him those subscriptions, man, because he might need some medical bills if he's about to die on camera right now. So make sure you subscribe and get this man some money or something. I don't know. He needs to win some championships so he can put some money in his pocket. That's what he need to do. But that's it, folks. Nothing else for you today. We'll see you on the next episode. Till then, peace out.